What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to an all-new Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4. We have just declared war on Yugoslavia, and surprisingly enough, I'm really happy that even though we have 42% war score, nobody has joined in on this war, which is actually pretty phenomenal. The idea was to declare war before 25% world tension. Though, unfortunately, within the last month, the Anschluss of Austria has already happened. Very, recently, the war against China has broken out, and now we've declared war on Yugoslavia. So World War II is certainly brewing, but, it hasn't necessarily happened just yet. Taking a quick glance, we're building up a lot of our industry. Looks like send volunteers from the German Reich. I really don't want these, so I think I'm going to disband them. Another thing I want to start doing is producing a few divisions of colonial troops. Probably around 4, 4, and 6. And maybe I'll just get 2 as well. And the idea is I want to start gearing up Africa. I don't really plan on going to war anytime soon. Well, excuse me, what the war? Last episode. But basically, I want to gear up and defend a lot of, Africa if, God forbid, something happens a little too early. Okay, other than that, we're building up a lot of our military factories. Once we claim Yugoslavia, I think things will go a lot better in our favor. Looking at actual production, very soon we're going to want to build up artillery as much as possible. And the reason why I say that is all of this artillery is going to go into our Mountaineer divisions, which we have 36 of them, and they're going to just swarm across France. And the idea is I want to take most of Savoy, and I want to take most of Provence, and I would love to take the Alps as well, because look at all of this steel and aluminum. Now, Germany, of course, is my ally, or better yet, they're not my ally yet, but they will be. They're going to try to take that, and I can't have that happen. So the idea is if I want to be successful, I have to pull my own weight, and I can't just let Germany take over everything for me. Okay, so we have some unread naval combat. What I should have done is taken all of my naval troops and put on search and destroy and just protect the Adriatic Sea. And everybody is moving on down. I've got 4 units here, 4 battleships that aren't doing anything right now. They're actually not battleships, they're light cruisers. I'm still building those battleships. It'll be done in 5 years. Not bad. Alright, everybody else is still plowing on through. Our Mountaineers are doing very, very well. I think Yugoslavia is going to be done for very, very soon. Unfortunately, we don't have much protection against France, so if they were to invade, we would die. But I'm sure the German Reich would obviously do something about that. Yugoslavia, take all of their states, ending this turn. I'm surprised that it went that well, but obviously we had a lot of units. Probably way more than we needed. All 36 will immediately move on back. These 24, I guess, are just going to move on down to both Rome and Tuscany once again. Okay, so all we're doing now is we're building a lot of infantry equipment. We're supposed to start building up our artillery, but we haven't really done much. We've conquered a lot of territory, so therefore we have a lot of infrastructure that needs to be repaired, and that should repair for free and automatically. Another thing that we are working on is taking a quick glance somewhere. Oh yeah, the national focus. We're working on Albania's occupation, and in 20 days we're going to give them an ultimatum: secede or be annexed. And ultimately, all I'm doing is taking their naval factories, their military factories, and their civilian factories. There's not a lot of troops here, and it's mountainous provinces, but I really want to grow my economy as well. Okay, once I produce, or once I get at least 15 of these military factories just churning on out, I'm going to start building more civilian factories as well. I'm going to need some tungsten, so let's get that from Portugal. And this tungsten is going to be building more and more artillery. We have a lot of fighters that are being worked on. Speaking of fighters, let's go ahead and throw in about 300 fighters. And we are going to need some close air support. which we have 200. Surprisingly enough, we have an exact number. All of these units are going to just start flying over France. I don't really think our war is going to break out anytime soon. I think it'll be September of 1939, because that's the historical number. But at least we have our units there now. All of these ships can make their way back down. I don't know if there was an actual naval battle or not. It looks like there was. And we lost a convoy. Sad life. But other than that, we definitely have a lot of territorial gains. I'm very happy with where we stand. In 9 days, we're probably going to take Albania. If not, I will obviously swarm them down. Seeing as we have 70 army experience, let's go ahead and find these Alpine divisions. What I'm going to do is, I want to add logistics companies. I want to add a lot more mountaineers. I also want to add signal companies, and I also want to add artillery behind all of these mountaineers. But not only do I need artillery to be produced, you know what, I could do that now. Artillery, artillery, and artillery. And all we're waiting on is signal companies. I have no idea if we're even researching it. Yes, we are. Basically, signal companies give us a lot of bonuses as well. How many artillery are we behind? 3.5 thousand. At this point, we're going to make that shortage go away in 1600 days, but ultimately as efficiency gears up, it should go down. Indian National Congress triumphs in provincial elections. In the recent local elections, the Indian National Congress has achieved an overwhelming majority for their platform of slow and ordered transition to local government and dominion status of the future. So they're breaking away from the British Raj. Italy has grown. When is our annexation? One more day. I'm really hoping that this works out in our favor. So now that the focus has been sent, we'll find out very soon. What do we want to improve? Libyan infrastructure, yes. Let's go ahead and begin getting some new friends. If we befriend Bulgaria, we're actually going to change them over to fascist, which is nice. And then they'll probably join the Axis. Albania yields a glorious day. So now that we have taken all of Albania, we've really only gained, we've gained resources, don't get me wrong, but we gained 2 civilian factories, 3 dockyards, and 1 military factory. So ultimately, I would say that was definitely worth it. Are we behind in tungsten? Not yet, but we will be. Zog submits to Italy, which is obviously Albania. An ultimatum has been delivered to the Albanian government by Italian diplomats demanding that they submit to complete military occupation. King Zog has abdicated after realizing the futility of resistance, and Albania will now be ruled in a personal union under King Victor Emmanuel III. Italy looks to the Balkans. Okay, so we are a very powerful country now that we have Yugoslavia and Albania. Unfortunately, we have low manpower, so we are going to need some political power to obviously change up these conscription laws. Taking a quick glance, we are still working on a lot of these colonial nations. We are still waiting for not only a lot more... we aren't looking for infantry equipment, we're looking for artillery. So I'm guessing... could I go ahead and remove some infantry equipment? I probably could. Don't think I will, though. Maybe I will, because I think we should do that. 1 here, 2 there. And now we're missing some tungsten once again. So we're going to have to go to Portugal, ask for a little bit more. And surprisingly enough, we are still getting oil from Venezuela. We are wasting money and probably should not have done that. And we have 3 extra oil. We're not spending it on anything, so let's spend it on some convoys that we don't need. And now we're only going to get about 1 a week, but at least we're going to have some additional convoys, and all they're doing is stockpiling. All of these towed artillery will move to the top. You are now going to go down and down. And we need 4 more military factories. And then we're going to definitely start trying to build up a very powerful industry to really combat a lot of the ailments of warfare. This is probably way too many, but that's what we're going to try to do. And once all of these are done, I am pretty much for the rest of the game only going to be building synthetic refineries and military factories. Yes. That's actually exactly what's going to happen. And even though all 36 units are here and we're not really going to be declaring war just yet, I do want to go ahead and create an actual plan. And the reason why is because I do want to get a planning preparation bonus. It's at 31%. It can go all the way to 80. And eventually, it looks like we're missing a lot of the actual artillery and the support equipment. So that'll come in time. We're still waiting for signal companies to be unlocked. 33 days. And that's going to take a lot of support equipment as well. So we're still trying, don't get me wrong, and we're still growing as well. If I had more army experience, I would switch over all of our divisions here to motorized, but I don't appear to have enough, because I'm going to need about 70. Computing machine has been unlocked, giving us a further reduction, permanent reduction for reduced research time. And I guess, it's not 1939 yet, It's 1939 is a big year. Let's go ahead and get the interwar artillery, so that way, when 1939 does come along, we can get better weapons, better artillery, plow through all of the industry first, and then ultimately we're going to be upgrading a lot of our infantry with better support equipment. So it's going to take a while, but at least we have a good foundation. We went from 50 factories, now we have 119, and we're building more and more military factories as time goes by. Though I would like more support equipment, because we are behind, and that's one thing that we're always going to have for the rest of the game, so maybe getting better production efficiency would be nice. And you know what I could do? Instead of building so many convoys, I could do something... No, I would run out of oil. What I was thinking about doing is removing some of these convoys and putting them up here and starting to work on these battleships to get them out a little bit quicker. Don't know if that'll work, though. Support equipment about to be done. And we're still waiting for one more, but at least our economy is finally gearing on up. We are now in the 18th of August. Let's go ahead and start working on better decryption. We could get better radar as well, but I don't really know if we're going to be going to war. I mean, obviously we're going to be going to war, and it would be really good to have some actual radar inside Sardinia, but I don't think it's going to happen just yet. Okay, let's finally deploy all of these divisions. Unfortunately, we are going to need to put engineering companies on, so that is going to slow things down, and we actually are behind with support equipment. Still waiting on the actual signal companies as well. We really need a lot of everything. Any day now. This is so slow at speed 4. Okay, so now what we're going to do is find these Alpine divisions. We're going to throw on signal companies, and we are going to go throw on military police on these cavalry divisions. Everything else seems fine. I would obviously love to make these motorized. I don't even know if we're really going to use these anytime soon. We're going to use a lot of mountaineers against France. Don't get me wrong, we probably will throw them in if we need to. Research slots available. Still not 19. It's not the right year yet. I could get better radar now. I think I will. And I think I'm going to go with better encryption because it doesn't take all that long. 1939 is going to be a big year. The Fourth International, talking about the growing support of Trotskyism, and I believe this is in Paris. Yes, Paris today. How many internationals will there be? So obviously... you know, France is in a massive, massive argument trying to say, do I want to be democratic or do I want to be communist? Munich Agreement, it looks like Munich has now been, has taken over the Sudetenland. So Germany's expansionism is certainly present. They've taken over all of Austria. They've taken over the Sudetenland. Eventually, Czechoslovakia will be annexed. France and Britain have now announced an alliance. Hungary renounces the Treaty of Trianon, which is with reaffirming their claims on territories taken 2 decades ago. I think it's this province, but I could be mistaken. I don't see anything that's really, really small. Befriending Bulgaria has been unlocked, so now it's not really going to be that great, but now they like us, and eventually this fascism is going to swing on over, and their government is going to be fascist. Okay, I would absolutely like this, but we are definitely ahead of time. Don't really need anything else. I could start working on armored operations. Probably should, actually, but I don't think I will. Could get base strike for 50% cheaper. Operational integrity for 62 days. I think I'll do that. No national focus once again. Let's start off with this Pact of Steel, getting an alliance with Germany. And the idea is eventually we're going to share technologies and probably join the Axis. Non-aggression pact from Bulgaria, absolutely, now that we have a friend here. They're not the strongest state, but I have done a lot of expansionism and I don't really want to grow anymore because the rest of the world would hate me. Okay, what can I do? We almost have 150 political power. With that political power, I need to definitely get better conscription because we're almost running out of manpower here, and it's because we are producing so many units, and, you know, it's really kind of a big issue. Modifying our government, here comes the new conscription laws, about to go from 192,000 all the way up to 1.26 million. Do we want to deploy these units? Kind of. Let's do it, I guess. All 4 of these will go down here. All 5 of these will go over here. These units will be deployed. All of you, I guess, are going to make your way down. Protect against the United Kingdom in this area. These 2 units, I guess, can come down as well. You're going to protect against France. All the way down here, and now we have these 6 units. Don't know where they're gonna go. Probably going to, I don't know, we could help out over here. Put another 6 units on, defend against the UK. We're gonna need a lot more troops, but we also need a lot more support equipment. Like, that is so bad. Is there anything we could do? Probably. Yes, there is a few things we could do, but we would lose a lot of support equipment. However, we probably could produce maybe 2 more factories sometime soon by throwing that to the north. by putting that at the top of the queue. And I'll probably build another one too. Now, those are both going to come pretty fast because our economy is pretty powerful. But I do need to start getting a better supply of weapons, especially when 1939 rolls around, and we're going to have better weapons that we can produce. Okay, it's the 11th of November. I'm really going to start waiting those 30 days, not only because it helps getting 30 days of saving, but ultimately the closer we get to 1939, the less ahead of time penalty that we're going to have. The Pact of Steel has been unlocked. Let us go ahead and get the treaty with Germany, because I absolutely want the synthetic resources reduction. The armor technology is good too, but ultimately, once we go to war, we're not going to be able to trade for oil or rubber, so it's going to be hard. Invite faction to the German Reich. Yes, I will. I am now part of the Axis. So our alliance is good, and it's going well. Encryption has been unlocked. Very soon, we're going to start working on better construction. But I don't want to have to pay this ahead of time penalty, but it looks like we're going to. Okay, you are going to start working on better construction. And once you go up, you'll start working on better concentrated industry. You'll probably do better unit productions, I guess. Production efficiency. Okay, you are going to start concentrated industry, giving better factory output for the rest of the game, which is pretty good as well. Now we're on the 1st of January, so nothing matters. Let's get advanced machine tools, getting better production efficiency. You need to start working on better artillery. And you, once the radar's done, are going to start building up better and better improvements to our weapons. Which matters, but it's not that great. Okay, so now we have better weapons. We are doing quite well. We are going to start building up our actual radar station. So this is a level 1. And one thing that I want to show is we are now showing a level 1 radar station. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to build a level 1 first, and then I'm going to show you the difference it's going to make. But other than that, we're doing well. I would like to have 3 full lines of industry, and it looks like we might even have more than that. Okay, we have 49 military factories. The German Reich has claimed Memel, so that means this very small Prussian territory of Memel is now part of the German Empire. So war is brewing, world tension is rising, and ultimately we are gearing up for World War II. Okay, I also have finished treaty with Germany. Let's do the German military cooperation. So for the rest of the game, we get land doctrine research time and air doctrine research time reduction, so I want that. Italian-Germany technology treaty has been accepted. Synthetic resources have been drastically reduced. The technology treaty, the opinion has gone up, and we now have an armor treaty. So we are beginning to bully the rest of the world, and we are gearing up for a world war. I'm wondering if we should really still be focusing on the economy. But one thing that I do want to mention is we're about to have, on the 17th of February, this radar station. And I want to show that right now you can see our radar station this is what it looks like. But if we went to level 2, that's what it would look like. So it's really a massive, massive difference. And imagine, so that's level 2. Imagine what level 3 would look like. So it does make sense to improve radar technology. If I have vision of this entire circle, basically our fleet and our air force will, perform a lot more efficiently. Okay, what can I do? I probably should get a few more military factories. Maybe just one, throw that up to the top, and start working on that. That way we could start getting more and more infantry equipment, because we're bound to need it with a war that breaks out. We are still behind on artillery. We are going to be switching on over sometime soon as well. I think war is going to be breaking out in about 6 months. Let's go ahead and grab some colonial divisions. And I think 4 in every single province is not bad. We also need some protection on Sardinia. I don't know if we need 12. Let's get 10. And we'll see exactly how that works. Okay, 150 political power. Let's start unlocking. We are probably going to want division recovery rate of 4%, so that way every time we attack, our recovery of our organization will be just a little bit better. We probably should have gotten something, well, we're going to need even more army recovery rate as well. So now it's going to be 8%, but we now need more political power, so that's what we're going to do. Everybody's gearing up. We have 500 planes. Can we get a little bit more of both? Probably. So more fighters and more, units. And surprisingly enough, we now need more air experience to improve the range. But at 1940, we're going to get even better planes, so everything should go well. Man, war is brewing. Alright, well, we are going to end this episode, so thank you all for joining me. I hope you have an awesome day. I will see you in our next adventure.